Hey there, YouTube. It's Mrlubufu, and I'm here with the first session of spoilers. So today, April 8th, or 7th at night, technically, for me, marked the first spoilers. This first week of spoilers is always very, very strong. They spoil a lot of very cool stuff. So we're just gonna go ahead and hop right in. And I think, did I get everything? I think I got everything. So the first one is the Buy a Box promo for the set. Much like for Return to Ravnica, it is another Azorius card, Render Silent. Blue, white. Counter target spell is controller can't cast spells this turn. So it's quite literally the mana cost of counterspell plus the mana cost of silence smashed together into a card that I think is it's okay. I think it's just a little bit too expensive to work in Legacy, because in Legacy this sort of thing, could really deal damage against Storm decks or against Tin Fins or something like that. So I think 3 mana is just a little bit on the high side to make that work. And in Modern, it's still pretty solid, but Storm's been kind of dead since Seething Song's been banned, so I'm not sure. Standard, another 3 mana counterspell that goes a lot better in Esper than Counterflux, because Counterflux is red, of course. I like the not the interaction with Counterflux, but it's sort of parallels that it forms. But I'm not sure if Dissipate might just be better in this Reanimator sort of meta. So next we have Deputy of Acquittals. So it's a blue-white 2/2 flash that when it enters the battlefield, you may return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. May Clause really is what puts this over the top. Because it can really do some silly stuff in Limited, at least. Just being able to play it, bounce something that might have been destroyed by a removal spell and get a bear in play. Reminds me a lot of Core Skyfisher, but Skyfisher was much better, I would think, because you could return another permanent, and it had flying and so on. But I think this is a pretty interesting common. Doesn't seem extraordinary. I don't think it's going to see much standard play, but who knows. Next we have probably the big spoil of the night, Ral Zarek. I called him in Return to Ravnica and I was wrong. Turns out he is here in Dragon's Maze, where if you saw the trailer would really hint at him. But he's another 4-cost Planeswalker, starts out with 4 loyalty for 2 colorless blue-red, so of course he's Izzet. His +1, tap target permanent and then untap another target permanent. Seems really interesting. It's not as good as Tamiyo, for example, that taps makes it not untap, which was extremely relevant. It can at least generate another mana, so that could be interesting. I think it's interesting. I don't want to say the word interesting over and over again, but he's certainly very different, and you'll see why. -2 is Lightning Bolt, which I think is a great effect. It certainly does offer protection, which is something that some Planeswalkers were lacking, and so I think it's pretty solid for a -2, and the fact that it doesn't kill him and he can do it twice in a row is quite relevant. And his -7, like all Planeswalker abilities, you shouldn't assume that you're going to be able to do them in competitive standard, but I think it's pretty funny. Flip 5 coins, take an extra turn after this one for each coin that comes up heads. I keep getting texted by Zemet while I try and record this. Taking an average of 2.5 turns seems pretty good. It should put you far enough ahead that you should do stuff. I think it's a very Izzet feeling effect, and you gotta get your coins ready, guys. Certainly is fun. Next we have the Izzet Champion, which is Melik Izzet Paragon, 6 mana 2/4. So another big expensive costing one. I like how its creature type is a weird wizard, just as I would like to point that out. So it's got the time spiral effect, I believe, is play with the top card of your library revealed. Future sight effect. There you go. Play with the top card of your library revealed. You may cast it if it's an instant or sorcery, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery from your library, copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. I don't think this is going to see standard play at all, just because it's a 2/4 that doesn't necessarily do anything. No enter the battlefield triggers or anything like that. I think it's a very interesting effect. It's really cool. EDH players, of course, are going to like it. I don't even think block is that good with Melik, just because of how fast the format is. But he certainly seems like another cool, interesting, legendary creature for us to play with. I personally am more of a fan of the lower costing one, so I'm not so blown away. But not only that, they also spoiled the new sort of mechanic thingamahoots, if I might say it like that, which is Fuse. So the half cards, or the double effect cards, are back, and well, now you can cast one or both halves of the card from your hand. You have to pay the converted mana cost of the sum of the two if you wish to cast both. So for Toil, we have target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life, so it's a slightly more expensive Sign-in Blood. And Trouble is Trouble deals damage to target player equal to the number of cards in that player's hand. So for 6 mana, it's, very interesting. It certainly could be a somewhat decent finisher. This is clearly a Rakdos card, of course. But it's a decent uncommon. I'm not sure what to think. The one that I find far more interesting is the rare that they spoiled to demonstrate Fuse, and that is Beck and Call. So to begin with, we see not only a mix of Simic and Azorius, so this is a Bant card, but also it does some interesting things. To Fuse for 8 mana, it seems like a lot, but it's whenever so Beck is a functional reprint plus blue of Glimpse of Nature. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you may draw a card. That's Glimpse of Nature right there, just it costs blue in addition. And then we have Call, which is 6 mana, 4/5 or 4 1/1s, which is, I don't think it's that impressive. What makes it impressive is if you ever fuse it, because it's 4 1/1s with flying, so 4 power with the flying plus 4 cards. Certainly very interesting. I want to see. I don't think Beck is the place in Standard, even though there's, the Burning Tree Emissary and that sort of thing, where they're playing a ton of cards. Their whole goal is to kill you. But it's certainly a very interesting effect, because Beck does have a fun interaction with Lingering Souls, for example. It does have a very interesting effect with the Garruk Planeswalkers that are currently in Standard, placing Wolves and 2/2s. Has a good effect with Huntmaster of the Fells, Thragtusk, Restoration Angel, that sort of thing. So I'm not sure. Maybe 2 mana for it puts it a little bit too expensive, because for single green it'd be far more powerful. Elves isn't playing blue at all, so I don't think it's going to see play in Legacy as the other 4 Glimpse of Natures. I think that adding it might not be enough to. I think the combo deck is already pretty solidly based, so it doesn't need that extra Glimpse. But who knows? Who knows? Anyway, so that's it for the spoilers for tonight. Thank you guys all for watching. Rate, comment, and subscribe.